Angry guy here, and women are shaming men for not dating them. Get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. So women are shaming men for not dating them. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the first video.
You want to know the real reason why dating nowadays seems like pulling teeth? It seems like it's the most hardest, stressful thing in the world. The men are poor. Yeah. The men are broke. Okay? They don't have it. They don't have it. See, back in the day, because we live under the patriarchy, especially here in America, a man assumed the entire financial risk of dating. And it worked back in the day because men had disposable income. Now, capitalism is crushing all of us. The men don't have disposable income. So they can't even afford to spend, you know what I'm saying, $40, $50 at the movie with a woman unless they feel like they're 200% sure that it's going to work out. But the reality is you can never be 200% sure without dating that person. Like, they're trying to skip steps instead of just acknowledging the fact that they're broke. The average man is truly being priced out of dating. But the thing about men is that men very seldom want to do the work to improve their chances of finding a happy, healthy relationship that meets their standards, right? They don't want to get better jobs or maybe another job, capitalism killing all of us. They don't want to reevaluate what's important to them in a woman. They don't want to get a personality. Read a fucking book. Read a book. Have something to talk about when you're talking to women. The men don't have anything to talk about. And they're in denial. Instead of just accepting all of these things and like doing the work to like better position themselves, the men would rather find excuses as to why it's the woman's fault that dating is so hard. We live in a patriarchy. When it comes to dating and romantic relationships, it's always going to be the man's fault because the men set the tone. I hope this was helpful. Just to reiterate, dating in 2023 is so hard because the men are broke.
I'm going to make this really, really simple for you, okay? So just listen up. Harassing women versus going up to them and having a conversation with them when they make it clear that they want to be talked to are two completely different things. And if you do not know the difference between those situations, then I highly, highly recommend don't approach them. I'm not sure how me walking outside and being catcalled and being said, "Hey baby, hey, you look good today. Oh, your dog's so cute. Hey, convince your mommy to let me take her out to dinner," is even in the same realm for you as just approaching a woman, having a conversation and asking her out. Once again, if you really can't tell the difference, just don't approach her. I guarantee you she will be really thankful for it.
So, guys, with content like this, with women making videos like this, and this is how women act in society in general, they are surprised when men are saying, you know what, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. It's not worth even engaging. It's not worth having a conversation. Instead, we're going to just focus on ourselves. We're going to walk away from Western society. We're going to walk away from relationships in Western society. If we want to have a relationship, we're going to go overseas. We're going to find someone overseas that's going to make us happy, that's going to treat us like a human being. If you look at Japan, for example, Japan, we have the herbivore men who are basically completely abstaining from physical and social interaction with the opposite gender. And the irony is when men from Western society go to Japan, it's still like night and day for them. They find that the women compared to American women are fit, feminine, and friendly, and they are more than happy to engage with these women. The same is to be said in the Philippines, in other Asian countries like Thailand or even Laos, or even when people go to South America, Colombia, and other countries. They find the women to be much more appealing, much more friendly, and to value their time more. In a Western society, women do not value men at all. They do not value our attention. They do not value our time. They do not value our money. but these are the things that they want from us specifically. And to them, we are completely disposable. Just like men have been disposable for generations. When you look at all the lives, all the men that have passed away trying to stand up for our freedom and to protect us, no one really cares. And now it's even more pronounced today, where women believe that everything is owed to them. And social media is constantly telling them that they are perfect, they are special, and that they need to go and find a man that's going to make them constantly happy and stimulate their emotions around the clock. Despite all the things that are happening in the world, it constantly shocks me just how little self-awareness women have. The world in and of itself could literally be smoking, and modern women would be more focused on keeping up with the Kardashians, or the Kardashians. I think that's what they're calling the show now. They have no conscious awareness at all. All they're focused on is getting their bag at any means necessary. I've already said this, that if Jesus Christ was walking amongst us today, they would try to me to him. They would definitely try to me to him. Women do not take accountability for anything that they say or do, and they are bailed out of every bad decision. At this point, I'm pretty certain that even though you cannot lie before God, women would try if they could. They would literally stand before God, and while God shows them all of their memories and everything that they've done in life, and it's all laid before them right then and there, and they cannot deny any of it, they would stand there and literally say, God, this is not true. You know it's not true. You know none of this ever happened. And God is before them. And God is showing them all of their memories and everything. He's even flashing it back into their minds. And they are denying their memories. They're denying their experiences. They're denying their actions, saying that none of these things ever actually happened. And this is how modern day women are. They will never take accountability. They will always try to deviate away from consequences. And there's no negotiating it. I talk about the notion of functional insanity, and I say that, you know, that these individuals are at best functionally insane. And I don't think that people can really deny that, because the actions in and of themselves that we're seeing from these individuals would border insanity. They are not even operating in their own self best interest. People operate in their own self best interest. They're focused on doing the things that will preserve, or enhance, increase their chance of survival. But when you observe the way that women are behaving in modern day society, much of their behavior will not lead to survival in the long term. Much of their behavior will lead to ultimately them not being able to survive in the long term. Even using platforms like Only Fools and Lonely Fans, what they've done is they've traded their futures for instant gratification. And when I watch podcasts where people point this out to them, and they say, "Listen, you might think it's fun now, but you're gonna live another 50 years probably. 50 years, in many cases 60 years. You're 23 and you're on Lonely Fans right now. You know, most women are living into their 80s. You're going to live for another 60 years. And, it might be fun now, but all of those consequences are going to be there. You're not going to be able to go back to the real world. You're not going to be able to get a job like a normal person. You're going to have serious issues. Even if you ever have children, your children are going to face serious social consequences. A lot of law firms are not going to want to work with you. It's going to limit your ability to make an income outside of that type of industry, and it's going to carry a stigma with you forever. I mean, it's going to be hard for you. And they break down in tears, and they need to be comforted as though they don't realize what they've done, and they need someone to pat them on the back and say, they're there. It's okay. It's okay. Don't listen to this mean old man and the mean old consequences. Okay? Just completely abstain from reality. Because women are not living in reality as in the real world. They're living in cyberspace right now. They are living on the internet. They're living in social media. Everything they say and do right now is essentially being guided and manipulated and affected by social media. Social media completely has their minds wrapped up. And the sad reality is that they're not going to come around. They cannot come around. The best thing that the most they can really do is try to change your tactics, but they will never change who they are internally because it's set in stone. You can't turn a person who is now masculine into someone who is feminine. It's not going to happen. Many of these women have lived their lives. Most of these women have lived their lives in their masculine for 20 years, 30 years, however old they are. It's something that's become set in stone since they were little girls. So you think that they're going to turn around now and suddenly become feminine? No, it doesn't work like that. They are deeply in their masculine. And women who have that SME, single mother energy, they're not going to change. These guys, the Pookies and Ray Rays, they have that a single mother energy. They're not going to change. These people in society that have these views on society and a lot of these just outright unwanted behaviors, they're not going to change. Modern day women cannot change because this is who they are as people, and they're not going to be able to survive what's coming, the hardships that are coming socially, as the dollar continues to lose most of its value, as they are priced out of the economy and they can no longer provide for themselves at all, as they're now too old to work. Let me tell y'all something. 10 years ago, something happened to me. It's a little over 10 years at this point. I was working at a company and I was working long, difficult hours, and I broke down mentally and I could no longer do the job. I could no longer function. My brain stopped and I could not bring myself to do it. I was in complete disarray. I was broken. I could no longer work. I could no longer function. And it wasn't just me. People I worked with were breaking down. One woman I worked with, she got a terrible skin condition and she ended up having these terrible patches all over her body. And you're like, well, where is this coming from? It was from the job we were doing. The job was so terrible. It was so hard. It was so overwhelming that it was making people go crazy and turning them physically ill. It was leading to people having to, take medication to deal with just doing that job and survive. It ate up all of our free time. And even then, we were still trying to survive. And I'm telling you, many modern day women are not even working as hard as we were. They're not even going as hard as we were. And they cannot handle society today. They can't even handle some basic stuff. A lot of these women are now pulling out of society because they're like, I want to go find a man and live a soft life. And of course, they think that by going on social media and posting things like this is somehow going to encourage men to date them. Guys, I talked about this. These videos, what they tell men is just confirming to men more and more that women in modern day society do not like us. They don't like us. They don't want us around them. They're just furious that they're losing access to our attention, our time, our money. But you don't speak to someone that you like and you care about this way. I mean, women, they're not there. It's so bad in Western society. They're not even trying to hide it. They cannot even hide their disdain very long because it just comes out immediately. Someone said this to me in a comment. He said that, in Africa, he's been to Africa, and in Africa, even when a woman rejects a man, they do it very gently because they do not want to, they don't want to they don't want to damage the man's ego and lead to him feeling as though, you know, all women are like that and they don't want to discourage him so that he stops looking and approaching other women. Women are socially aware of this in the country, in Africa, that, even if they're not interested in a specific man, that does not mean that they should discourage the man, because then what's going to happen is all the men are eventually going to say, okay, well, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to walk away and I'm not going to be bothered. This modern women, they don't care about men. They don't even really care about each other. It's, the sisterhood is only there until it isn't anymore. And then they quickly turn on one another. Guys, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't. Like the video and turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Women are shaming men for not dating them. I want to know what you guys think about this and everything else we discussed in the video today. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.